The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome into a Monday episode of Tuesday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Brought to you as always by our good friends. Top right-hand corner of the screen right there, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. And we try to do the same here on this show every single day. One of the ways we do that, of course, is giving you player profiles every day, interviews that we are featuring with our amazing athletes and coaches. We do coaches here on this show too, throughout the YSN family. We will continue that trend today as we have a player profile with United's career run leader. He broke the record 2 weeks ago before spring break, Sam Lippiott, and still counting. She had a huge game last night that we will talk about in our recap. But Sam Lippiott with a great interview. It's actually quite a lengthy one. We have a lot to talk about, so it's actually a really good interview with Sam Lippiott. We're going to share that with you today on the episode. But first, let's hop into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com and go into what went on last night. Now, mind you, the Eclipse took out a lot of games, so we don't have as much to recap as we will on a normal day. Like today, a beautiful day on a Tuesday. We will have a ton to recap tomorrow with Scotty. But today, we just have the teams that were able to brave the Eclipse and put on a show. So let's go over the scoreboard, which is on ysnlive.com, and it's presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. The YSN scoreboard is a great tool for our fans, whether you are watching one of the games or watching one of our broadcasts. Either way, you don't want to look away from the action for too long, and the YSN scoreboard is a quick and easy way to get live, updated scores from your favorite teams across the YSN family. We have a great team that works behind the curtain to give you as live updated scores as humanly possible, so you don't have to wait until late at night for the final scores to come rolling in. YSN Scoreboard, presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs, can be found at ysnlive.com/scores. Let's take a look at it. We'll start with baseball. Beaver Local and Harrison Central, a score was not reported, but we do have a score reported for Brookfield and Liberty. And the final score there was 13-3. Brookfield gets their first win of the season. Let's dive into what went down in this game. Noah Ricks was there with a great call, and he also has a great recap on ysnlive.com. As Brookfield got their first win of the season, 13-3 once again. They started off early, dominant 7-run first inning. Walks were a big thing for Brookfield. They were able to draw walks all night long. Hunter Warrender was the starting pitcher for Brookfield. He had a good outing for the Warriors as well. And the Warriors were able to hold on despite a little 3-run mini rally by Liberty in the 5th. So the Warriors are 1-2 early in the season. Of course, they will play Liberty again tonight, this time at Liberty to round out that season series. Brookfield interviews can be found on ysnlive.com with Coach Madig and Hunter Warrender, who had a great start on the mound himself. We also had East Liverpool in action last night. They were able to beat Madonna by the final score of 2-0. And when we have a pitching performance like that, we want to shout it out. It was a great pitching performance from Jake Smith. And his final line, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, no earned runs, obviously. This is the big one. This is the strikeout to walk ratio is huge. 11 strikeouts, just 1 walk. That's what you want to see, efficiency. 7 innings, it only took him 90 pitches to get through it. 61 of those pitches were strikes. 90 pitches through 7 innings is pretty impressive. You do the math, and that is just over 12 pitches per inning, which is beautiful when you talk about pitch efficiency. Now, Madonna pitched really well too. East Liverpool's offense struggled to score, but it was the middle of their lineup, Malachi Reed, and he had an RBI, and so did Kason Ramsey. Right in the, let's see, Reed bats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. Ramsey bats 8th. So right in that middle of the lineup, doing the damage for East Liverpool, getting the win by the final score of 2-0 over Madonna. We will scroll down to softball, and we will start with United doing a lot of damage against Lowville, 27-5, the final score to this one. And when you look at the numbers, I mean, it's going to take a long time to unpack the offense that was had in this game. Bear with me, 27-5. You had Sam Lippy at 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 5 runs scored. 5 RBIs from Grace Coffey, 3 for 5, 2 RBIs as well. You had a 3 RBI day from Chloe Angelo, who went 3 for 5 with 3 runs scored, 3 RBI. I mean, it's just the lineup was ridiculous. 2 RBIs from Maddie Zines, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs there. They really shined on the big stage at YSU Softball Complex. That venue can be daunting to some teams. You never played on a college field. It's all turf in the outfield. There's a much better seating capacity. It just feels a lot bigger. United was not shy about how much they wanted to shine on that field. 27 runs is, I think, the most we've seen in a YSN family so far this year. On the softball side, baseball, we know that Poland did a number on Niles earlier this year. Maddie Zines got the win, 5 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run, struck out 9, walked 1. So a great day in the circle for her as well. Let's talk about Liberty beating Brookfield 13-8. I was at this game, and I can talk about it a little bit more in depth. As when you see something live, of course, you're able to dive into it. And I'm really impressed with the Liberty team so far. This win makes them stay undefeated in the MVAC. They're 3-0 inside the conference, 3-2 overall, with the 2 tough losses on Sunday night against Poland and McDonald. But you look at this game and the resiliency from Liberty to always answer. They took an early 3-0 lead. Eventually, Brookfield tied up at 3. Liberty answers the next half inning with 3 runs. And then Brookfield answers, ties it back up at 6. But then Liberty right there again with 3 more in the 5th, 4 more in the 7th. Too much offense for the Leopards. The Warriors just couldn't handle it. But every time Brookfield came back, Liberty was right there with a response. I was really impressed with this lineup, especially 1 through 5. Check this out. 1 through 5 had a combined 16 hits on the day, and they were only retired 5 times all day out of all the at-bats they had. And they had a combined, 4, 8, 11, 15, 19, 20, 21. They had a combined 24 plate appearances. They were only retired 5 times. The top 5 hitters of this lineup are really, really good. And it starts with Mia Parker, who went 4 for 4 on the day, 4 runs scored and an RBI. Then right behind her, the catcher, Sam Spisak, 3 for 4 on the day, 4 runs scored and an RBI. Chloe Fleps, who helped herself out in the circle, 2 for 3, 2 RBI. And then the big day from Rachel Strawmeyer, who went 1 for 4, but 4 RBIs. Very good at situational hitting. Got the runs in, knew what she had to do for the situation that she was in, and did it really well. And then, of course, the other big day from Brooklyn Seminaro, who went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Strohmeyer also a very good shortstop. I want to also talk about Chloe Fleps in the circle. These numbers aren't going to be super flattering. I mean, 10 hits, all the 8 runs were earned, walked 5. That's not a great, final line, but I do want to say was really impressed with her in the big times in the game when Brookfield could have blown it open or could have, gone past and taken the lead. She had really good pitches when she needed to. I mean, the consistency needs to get there a little bit, but I saw pieces of a really good pitcher, and she really does a good job working the top and bottoms of the zone, which I really like. A lot of girls, if they have a rise ball, they fall in love with this top of the zone, top of the zone, top of the zone, and they don't go down too much. Same thing with the other vice versa. If you have a drop ball or if you have a down pitch, you're going to fall in love with that down part of the zone and never venture upstairs. And it just makes it easier to lock in on what you're going to do. Flips did a really good job of working both quadrants, going up when he needed to, getting some chase pitches. Obviously, 7 strikeouts on the day. A lot of those were swing and misses on the rise ball, but able to go down as well. Really keeping the batters on their toes on what she was going to do. I think her problems came in when she got into 2 strikes, pitches that were just a little bit too sweet. She's trying to get chase pitches there, but they caught too much of the plate. So she got Brookfield to swing with 2 strikes, but the pitches were not getting enough out of the zone to get the swing and misses, and there was a lot of 2-strike damage done to her where she did a really good job getting ahead of a lot of hitters. Couldn't finish those at bats off, but I was really impressed with the pieces there, the foundation of good pitching. I think Liberty has a good chance to make a little bit of noise in the MVAC. Obviously, Champion is the favorites in that conference, and they should be. But Liberty can be that kind of Brookfield caliber team from last year where they're kind of on Champion's heels all the time. They put pressure on Champion. They make sure the Champion, dots all their I's, crosses all their T's. I think Liberty can be that team this year. I'm really impressed with their energy in the dugout, their approach at the plate, especially once again 1 through 5. Really, really good. And I think Fleps is an excellent pitcher. I think she has a lot of good tools that will give a lot of teams some problems. If she just, gets a little bit consistent with 2-strike pitches, she's going to be just fine. I was really impressed. Really impressed. I want to go and see if that Mohawk score came in real quick. Mohawk did win at Elwood City 20-1. Ooh, that is massive. Reagan Magno drove in 5 runs on 3 hits for Mohawk. That's an awesome last name, by the way. Olivia here, who we know very well, had a good day. She went 4 for 4 with 2 RBI, 4 runs scored. Olivia Hare has been the representative in back-to-back All-Star games for Mohawk, so good to see her continue to have a strong season. Mohawk with the 20-1 win over Elwood City. That was under the lights too. Under the lights in Elwood, Mohawk shines bright. So that'll do it for our scoreboard recap. Not like I said, not a ton of games last night. The eclipse kind of took away a lot of the action, but good news is the softball we did get in was pretty dang good, and baseball as well. I thought the pitching performance from Jake Smith, probably the highlight of the night for East Liverpool in that shutout win over Madonna 2-0. Big moment for him, big moment for the Potters as they continue their little winning streak. They won at Weir over the weekend. Evan Tice was the hero in that game, and then this one, Jake Smith comes out with a really good pitching performance on the mound. What we're going to do, we're going to take a small break. When we come back, we will have the player profile featured for the day, Sam Lippiett from United. That's coming up next on Running Point. Don't go anywhere. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
From on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
And welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over there at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. You can find them at the top right-hand corner of the screen. You can also find them if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle. Then one will go the extra mile more for you than Greenwood Chevrolet. We try to do that the same way on this show, go the extra mile for you, and we do that with our player profiles that we feature on this show every day. We're going to continue that trend today. Sam Lippiett, the career runs leader at United, had a great talk with her, and this is a great interview as well. Can't wait for you guys to hear it on Running Point today. Sam Lippiett from United, the senior. Herwig here with a United softball player profile. I am joined by senior Sam Lippiett. Sam, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Let's talk about going into your senior year, and obviously senior year brings a lot of last for you. Last, home game, last time you play the teams that you're going to play. What has it been like going through senior year and trying to handle all the emotions that come with it?
It's definitely tough, me being an emotional kind of player on the field and off the field. It's tough to understand that this is the last year I'm ever going to experience United softball, because it has definitely been like the most life-changing thing for me, even when I started 10 years ago. So it's a bittersweet moment, but I know that I have a good future ahead of me, and I'm in good company for the next 4 years. So I'm excited for that journey, but at the same time, I just want to work as hard as I can until I finally reach the finish line for United softball.
This isn't the first senior season you've gone through. You're a multiple sport athlete. So you've done the senior nights, you've done the last seasons, you've done the end of seasons. How much has going through all those emotions in your other sports kind of helped you prepare for, dealing with everything you're going through in softball?
I definitely feel like softball is definitely going to be the hardest for me to go through, obviously, but basketball was really hard to go through, like being on that court for the last time. And I played soccer my senior year, and that was definitely a touching moment. And I wish I would have played longer because I learned a lot. And it was a kind of a hard senior night because I wish I would have played longer, like I said. But basketball was definitely hard leading up to that. But it's just kind of like softball's my last sport, my last senior night, my last everything. And then I graduate, and then I'm off to college. So it's definitely tough, and it's gonna be hard, but I know I'll get through it. Everybody gets through it. So
Monday, you guys finally got the season started, and it must have felt really good to finally get out there in great weather on Monday.
yeah.
Talk about like the anticipation for softball season. Obviously, it's your go-to sport. You're playing it in college, so it's the one that you look forward to the most. What was it like to finally get out there and get the season going?
It was definitely is I mean, stepping on the field is always the best feeling, but stepping on it for your first last is like a different feeling. I just I just kept telling myself like put everything you got, put everything you got, like this is it. And I try not to really think when I play because when I think I overthink, but going on that field in the nice weather, it's just like a blessing to me personally. And I'm just it's a great, I can't explain it because some people don't love the sport like I do. But going out there for my senior year, I just got to give everything my all. And yeah.
It was a milestone night for you. A 5 run scored put you in as the record holder for the program for career run score, 95 and counting. I know we talked earlier, and you didn't even know that you had that record until
No.
after the fact that you had it. So now that you know you are a record holder at United and you have that run scored record, what's that mean to you to have that milestone accomplishment and to be able to put yourself in the record book?
Yeah, I actually didn't even know actually also until last year that I was actually in the run for it because I just kind of play. I don't like to think about that stuff. But being up there and achieving that is definitely a huge milestone for me, being a little girl and always wanting to, be a United softball contributor and people to remember me, and putting my name up on that board is going to be a way for people to remember me. And so it's a great accomplishment, and um I hope that everybody appreciates the hard work I put into that too.
You don't score 95 runs without getting on base a ton, which means you have a game plan at the plate. You are a really good hitter. What kind of goes into your offensive mindset? What kind of hitter do you think you describe yourself as?
I describe myself as a hitter. One, I always want to be a contributor. That's why I always tell myself, be a contributor, be a contributor. It's not about swinging for the fences. It's not even about getting on base all the time. It's getting runs in. Like if there's a girl at third, like if I ground out, that's okay because she just scored. Um, I just, as a hitter, I just go and relax. I feel confident, I feel relaxed. Relaxation and being confident are the two most key parts to my hitting, because once I get underconfident or overstimulated, then that's when things go wrong. So I've just kind of trained myself, and we do very good mental work at practice, which I think Coach Stacy, for my coaches, we do 5 minute mental talk every day. So we have a mantra that we tell ourselves when we go into the box. So I have my mantra, and what motivates me the most is I think about people who have doubted me, and that has really set my mind to lock in and focus. And focus is definitely one of the top keys to my hitting also.
A lot of people call the simple sentence that you tell yourself in the batter's box a clear key. Um, and it came about in the college game not too long ago. Players started to use it. Now, obviously, we're seeing high school players, United and yourself, use it. So I'm interested, what's your mantra? What are the things that you say in the box that are probably the same every time you get up there that kind of gets your mind right to where you need it to get to?
I tell myself, so I use like doubting as my motivation. So people have doubted me. So I say, oh, they told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't do it. Or focus in, focus in. Or once I get done with that kind of mindset, I tell myself ball, 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 ball. So that makes my mind lock in on the ball. And that's just how I get myself going. I get amped by negativity because that makes me just want to do better. So yeah, that's really what I tell myself when I go in the
Well, I
ball.
don't know who in the world will be foolish enough to doubt you, but thank God they did because they put you
Yeah,
in the
thank
right
goodness.
mindset. When you think about the things that you still want to accomplish in your softball career, things you still want to leave a mark on before you graduate United, what's still on your goal board?
Again, it's not always about records. I think one of the most accomplishments I want to have at United Softball is definitely with the youth programs. I want to leave a mark on them and to show them as a good role model. I want to show them how to be a hard worker, to also have fun, to take, the things serious that needs to be taken serious, take care of business because this is United Softball. This program is building up so well over the past couple years, and I'm so happy to be a part of that. But I also want to leave marks on the record boards, of course. I want to leave marks for the youth, but the youth is what carries in my heart because that's our future and that's what's going to carry on United Softball.
One of the ways everyone gauges the effectiveness of a senior year is how a senior leaves the program after they're gone. And speaking to you, obviously that's really important. If we bring on a United leader next year, if we bring on a senior next year, and we ask them what it meant to have Sam Lippiett as an athlete, as a leader to them, what do you hope their answer would be? What kind of impact do you want to leave on the people that will be at United after you graduate?
I definitely want them to say that Sam was a hard worker and that she really cared for this sport and she never left practice not trying because I want to show people that, practice kind of stinks, but you have to fall in love with practice before you fall in love with the game. So it's not even necessarily what you prove on the field, it's necessarily what you prove behind closed doors, and that's practice. Practice is what makes you good for games. So I want people to know me as also an energetic person. I know that in the dugout I'm like annoying, I'm loud. Everybody knows me for that. And so definitely a hard worker, good work ethic, and loud, energetic, but also I take things serious at the right times.
As a senior, we already talked about multiple sport athletes. Let's talk about the leadership that you've been able to grow in this year because three sports, three different teams, three different personalities, and you've been able to be a leader in all three of them. What was it like for you to kind of transition? Obviously, some teammates stayed the same. Some teammates are on both teams, but every team's a little bit different. Every team has different personalities. What has it been like to transition from one to the other and always be that leader that you need to be for every sport you play?
I know for myself I have different roles in each sport. And soccer, I didn't have like a crazy role. I played my last senior year. That was just like more of a fun, like friends, and I really enjoyed it. Like I kind of stepped down from I stepped out of my box almost, and not being so like leader because I didn't really know the sport, so I'm having people teach me, and it's just a great experience to learn from other athletes. So I found that very cool. Also in basketball, having girls that I have been friends with, I mean, like our starting five, we've played since we were, oh gosh, I can't even remember, but we've just always carried a bond. And some of us may not be friends after high school, and that's okay, but some of us may not even be friends like in school, but when we're on our court, like we are together, we are a fist, as we call it. We are connecting as one, which you don't have to be best friends with a person off the court, but on the floor, you guys are teammates, and that is what I think is most important, and what we have found is most important. And also with softball, for me is just a different vibe. Like the vibe for softball that I have is just it's unexplainable. I have girls that I don't even text on a regular basis. I don't even think I have one person on the team that I text on a regular basis. But at practice, you would think that we were all best friends. Like Jocelyn, me and Jocelyn are like the two most energetic people in the dugout, and you would think that we were like hip to hip. But we are just really good teammates, and we know our roles, and we know our leadership roles for the younger girls. So we're trying to prove to them, even though we're not the best of friends, we're not best friends outside of here, but we are friends. We are teammates, and this is our team. So yeah.
So now we've talked about teammates that you're a great teammate with, but who are some of those people that you think that outside of the court or field and inside you've been able to really lean on, and they've been with this journey with you, and you've been able to say, I don't only trust you on the court, off the court, on the field, but there is this bond that we have even off the field that is just, we're almost like sisters, and because of sports, you've brought that relationship into your life.
I can definitely say I would say Maddie Zines, because I see Maddie Zines the most out of my schooling, and she's probably the most trustworthy person I know. And if I had to depend on somebody with like my biggest darkest secret, it would be her. She doesn't get into anything. She's like me. We're very self together, and I think that's why her and I share a lot in common, but we also don't realize that we share a lot in common. But I also don't come to school that much. I only come in from like 12 to 2, so it's hard for me to really interact with girls. But I would definitely say Maddie Zines, because we share that kind of same personnel mentality. So yeah.
Does not being in the school as much as you aren't, does that make you treasure the practices and the games even more because it's almost the only time you get to see those girls?
Definitely, definitely. I never expected my senior year schedule to ever go like this, but it definitely helps me because I can like go hit in the morning before school, get some work in. But then when I'm with my team, it's just I have full focus, and I feel like I have more energy within myself to be around people, whereas being opposed to being around people for 7, 8 hours a day. But now I feel like I have more energy to be around those girls, to help the girls, be in a better mood. Um, but because when you get to softball, I call it my escape. Like that's my escape. Being around those girls is my escape. We are in what we call our bubble, and it's a great feeling not having, you know, no homework to worry about. I don't have to worry about this. I'm worried about softball, and I think that helps all of us get our mind straight. Also with our coaches to guide us, they've taught us that, and they've trained us to think like that, which helps us get our work done in practice. And yeah.
Let's talk about your future outside of the United High School. Obviously, you're going to go play at the next level. For those people that aren't, in your circle or don't know where you're going, announce where you're going to be playing softball after United.
I will be playing at Lake Erie College up in Painesville. Yeah.
What made Lake Erie the place that you wanted to call home? What went into that decision? Talk about the recruiting process and some of the things that stood out about that program and that campus.
The recruiting process is definitely a hard and stressful process, and most athletes may know that. It's definitely hard when you finally lay out your options and finally see like this college, I like this about this college, but I don't like this about this college. It's just kind of hard to piece what you want. But Lake Erie said it for me. I went. I loved the coach. It was the girls that did it for me. They're so welcoming. I even had a girl write me a handwritten letter note that was like, if you need anything, reach out to me. And that note has like stuck with me, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like I have girls who are over 21 years old who are sending me handwritten letter notes and are like so excited for me to be on their team or want me to be on their team. So I think for me, I just felt so wanted by them, and that's definitely what set my decision.
When you think about, the things that you're most proud of that you've been able to do at United, whether it be in the classroom, on the field, on the court, whatever it may be, what are some of the things that you're most proud of that when you graduate, you're going to look back and say, I am so proud of myself for being able to do this?
I think definitely right now off the field, I am proud of myself for making time for my family while being a student athlete. I have a job. I work before school some days, 7 to 11 in the morning. I'm very proud of myself for that. Scholarships, uh, taking CCP classes, college classes. I take 4 right now. Just working for that and trying to save myself money in college is something I'm super proud of. But on the field and in the sport, I think what I'm most proud about there is the hard work I've put in. And I look back and I know how much work that I truly have put into this sport and the amount of lessons, the amount of times me and my dad have gone outside, set up the net, and hit off the tee. I didn't have a hitting coach for the longest time. Many people may not know that, but I think what I'm proud of myself is I used Jenna Lilly. She went to Oregon. I would use her videos and sit down and videotape myself and like overlap my videos and compare my hitting to hers. So it's definitely something more of a self thing that I've just accomplished myself. But definitely leaving a mark on United. I want to impact the youth. I want to prove people that I do have a good work ethic. So yeah.
Gina Lilly, one of the best to ever come through
Yeah.
Northeast Ohio. Love it.
Yep.
Rocking the local
Oh yeah.
talent. Sam, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your support system, the people that have been there with you throughout your whole career, and the people that you wouldn't be where you are right now without. So I want to give you the time to give out as many flowers, as many thank yous as you want to give. There's no time limit. This isn't the Oscars. We're not going to cut you off.
Okay.
So thank whoever you want to thank.
Obviously, most importantly, I would like to thank God for this journey that He's given me and the path that He's directed me towards me to. Obviously, my parents putting in so much money to the sport, travel ball, batting gloves, bats. It's just a very expensive sport. And I think this person or these people will make me why I'm here today is Coach Matt and Coach Stacy, his wife. They're the people who handed me the ball and said, "I believe in you. We are gonna work." And then that's when I fell in love with the game. Is they are the reason why I'm here today, and he's the reason why I have dedicated myself to this sport. So it kind of makes me emotional thinking about it because without him, I would have never found my happiness and my place to go to escape. So it's definitely they are probably the biggest two right now, the biggest ones I can thank, and I can't thank them enough. And obviously, family, friends for watching me. My mom's best friend always watches me, which I love. My cousins, aunts, and my grandparents for coming out to my games. They always show up. Uh, it's just I'm so blessed to have such a good support system and people who support my journey and support where I want to go. So, yeah, thank you to everybody who's ever supported me.
All right, Sam, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing what you do the rest of your senior year, and we wish you also the best of luck on all your future endeavors as well.
Thank you.
Sam Lippiett from United, you list down the things that she has done in her career. Obviously, the records, we talked about that at length, but just a dedication to the sport and showing those United players that she has been able to play with what it takes to get to this level, what it takes to put yourself in the opportunity to open the door to a college softball program. Whether you're going D1, D2, D3, JUCO, whatever level of college sports you're going to, I think that there's this misnomer that it says easy to get into. Like, oh, if I'm just show up and play softball and go to these camps, I'll be able to find somewhere to land. And that's not true. You have to really put in the work. You have to sacrifice some things. You got to be able to put yourself out there and get yourself out to coaches. Because let's face it, not every high school softball coach has contacts out the wazoo that they can just say, hey, you should come watch this player and send out videos. Like, you have to take the initiative sometimes. Sometimes you're lucky enough you have a college coach a high school coach that does have pretty good connections that can help you along that journey. But sometimes it's just the reality is you got to be able to also put yourself out there and coach yourself a little. You got to be able to self-coach as much as Coach Designs and Coach Kuhn now this year have really molded Sam Lippitt into what she is, and I talk about that in the article for the player profile on ysnlive.com. They have done a huge job in molding the player that Lippitt is right now, but she's also been able to coach herself. She talked about in that interview, taking her video and lining it up with one of the players that she admires. And Jenna Lilly, by the way, shout out to a Northeast Ohio talent that went to play for Oregon and then professionally in the MPF for a couple of years. But when you're able to do that, take your video and that's the extra mile thing, right? That's not required. No one has to do that to play high school softball or baseball. It's just that extra step you take because you want to see yourself succeed. And there's no shocker that she has made that dream come true. Sam Lippitt going to be continuing her high school career at Lake Erie, but she's got some work to do in this senior season first. United has a lot of things ahead of them and a lot of goals they want to accomplish. And because Sam Lippitt has already finished that recruiting process, she can lock in and focus completely on this United program and what it's going to take to get them to their goals. So what a great senior leader for the Eagles and a great interview indeed. Let's hop back on the scoreboard and see what games are going to be going on today. We have a really nice weather day today. Cloudy, mind you, so it's not a perfect day. But 74 degrees right now, and by first pitch for most of these games, going to be peaking at 75. So you can't really ask for much better weather, especially up here in Northeast Ohio in the first couple weeks of April. So as you can tell, a lot of teams taking full advantage of that. The scoreboard is packed of matchups. Let's go and start with baseball. We have Wilmington heading to Mohawk as the Warrior baseball team gets back in action. Canfield going to Boardman in AAC play. South Range and Inuit going to Struthers. Hoban will be hosting Strongsville tonight. We have Ursuline and Mooney, the Holy War, round one. That one's going to be a good one at Scene Park. We have Hubbard and Lakeview getting an Inuit series started. Salem goes to Columbiana tonight. That should be a good matchup. Kirtland taking on Grand Valley. We have Badger going to Pymatuning Valley. Brookfield at Liberty for round two of their MVAC matchup. Crestview, who has gone off to a good start, going to Camel. East goes to Niles, but this has been flipped. So this is going to be Niles baseball at East tonight. Softball for Niles was supposed to be at East tonight. They have flipped that to at Niles. So these two teams have kind of flipped the rotations. So Niles will be at East on the baseball side of things tonight. And the softball, it will be at East at Niles, and then that'll flip tomorrow, of course. Garrettsville Garfield going to Champion tonight. We have Lakeside and Geneva squaring off in Ashtabula County. Louisville hosting Highland. The Hornets coming to Louisville tonight. Jefferson will be hosting Conneaut. Lisbon makes the trip to take on Cheney. Ashtabula St. John hosting Lordstown. We have Jackson Milton in the MVAC hosting Lowville. Marlington travels to West Branch. East Liverpool tries to keep the momentum going after a really great win yesterday. They take on Martins Ferry tonight at home. Springfield plays host to McDonald tonight. Newton Falls will travel to LeBray. Poland goes to Girard. You got Middle Ridge and Sebring squaring off in the game one of their MVAC slate. Wellsville and Steubenville Central Catholic getting things going tonight. Austintown Fitch will have Warren Harding on the slate. Well, Western Reserve will be traveling to Waterloo. Crestview goes to Memorial. That's on there twice, which is strange. We already went over that one. Let's just scroll back over for this last one. JFK hosting Ravenna Southeast. We go to softball. Round two, Austintown Fitch versus Canfield. This game will not be played at Canfield High School, so scheduling reminder, this game has been moved to McCoon Park. McCoon Park, Field 7 is the host for this big time matchup. Fitch won the first meeting this year 5-0. Canfield trying to even up that series. It'll be Milena Toth versus Sydney Watts, two powerhouses, two Division I pitchers. Who has the upper hand, right? That's what this is going to come down to. Who makes the plays when they need to? What offense comes through in the clutch situations? It's going to be a fun one. Boardman finishes up their season series with Howland. The Spartans won game 1, 7-1. They try to finish off the sweep at Howland Township Park. Berkshire goes to Grand Valley tonight. Perry going to Edgewood. We have Badger going to Palm Valley, just like the baseball side. Brookfield travels to Liberty, and Liberty tries to finish off that sweep and stay undefeated in the MVAC. Carrollton traveling to Salem tonight. We have Mooney and Cheney at the Field of Dreams. Jefferson hosting Conneaut. Camel will host Crestview on the football field down there at Camel. Beaver Local and East Liverpool rivalry round 1. Blue versus red, as Beaver Local trying to bounce back from a tough doubleheader last night against Harrison Central. We have Garfield going to champion as the Flashes try to assert their dominance in the MVAC. Lakeview and Hubbard squaring off in the NE8, two teams that people think could be a wild card this year in that conference. Squaring off, this would be an important series because whoever wins the series, obviously in the next 2 days, has the best chance to be on the heels of the top teams in the conference. Newton Falls will go to LeBray tonight. Warren JFK softball will be a host to Lake Center Christian. Columbiana softball getting back to EOAC play after their trip to Myrtle Beach last week. They will play United at home tonight. We have East Palestine playing host to Lisbon. Lordstown travels to Ashtabula St. John. This next game, Lowville and Jackson Milton, has been canceled. The field conditions in Jackson Milton still just not quite good enough to get a game in, so that game unfortunately is postponed tonight. McDonald at Springfield happening, though, in the MVAC Scarlet tier, round 1 of that one. Bella O'Brien looks to get off the conference start with a bang. Louisville comes into town at YSU to play against Ursuline. Niles goes to East. A reminder that game will be flipped, so this one will be at Niles. Baseball will be at East tonight, so a good reminder there. Poland will travel to Girard to open up NE8 play for them. Middle Ridge will start their MVAC series with Sebring tonight. South Range travels to Struthers to get back to NE8 play. They have one series down. They beat Girard in the first week of the season twice. So now they try to start another MVA series tonight against Struthers. Obviously, Fitch and Warren Harding not happening because Fitch is playing Canfield. Wellsville goes to Southern Local tonight. Waterloo hosts Western Reserve. And that'll do it for the scoreboard. Let's now dive into the schedule tonight, the broadcast schedule, what games will be on the network, and who will be out there covering the games for you. Tuesday, April 9th, we'll start with baseball. We will have 6 games on the network tonight. Wilmington and Mohawk, Eric Hughes going to make the trip over to PA for that one. Canfield and Boardman, round 1 of the AAC series there. Matt Marr and Jordan Barber will have the call. Steve Hodge will be on the call for South Range at Struthers on scene 3. DJ Oakley will be down at Scene Park as well on field 1 for the Holy War between Ursuline and Mooney. Cooper Chavone will have the call for you on Hubbard at Lakeview Baseball. Joe Eusebio has you covered for Salem at Columbiana. We will also have Highland at Louisville covered by the Louisville crew down there. Volleyball will be covered in Louisville as well. Boys volleyball taking on Jackson. On the softball side of things, 4 games tonight. Austintown Fitch at Canfield. Once again, this going on down at McCoon Park. Field 7. Ty Bartell will be on the call there. I will be at YSU for Ursuline hosting Louisville. Got to take advantage of the fact the Leopards are coming into the area, so I will be there calling that game. Sam Torres up in the 440. He'll be covering Ashtabula St. John against Lordstown. Larry Dennings also has you covered in Ashtabula County with a matchup between Edgewood and Perry. So those games will be on the network tonight. Stay tuned on the website, ysnlive.com, for all the recaps and stories from tonight's game. And as always, keep an eye on the scoreboard for scores as the night goes on. ysnlive.com/scores is where you can find it, and it is brought to you by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Now we have a comment. Let's get to it. We have an addition. Heartland Christian baseball playing at Howlands. We will have that one added to the scoreboard pronto, so you can check that out as well. So you gotta be a little bit patient with the spring schedules, right? Everyone is juggling after a week where almost nothing got played last week. So Howland hosting Heartland baseball. That will be a good one as well. That will be added to our scoreboard over at ysnlive.com/scores. That'll do it for today's episode of Running Point, though. We want to thank you so much for tuning in today. We want to thank Sam Lippiott for her time, giving it to us for an interview that we were able to play today as well. We will be back tomorrow on Running Point from 1 to 2, and Wednesday, me and Scotty Mitchell will be in the show as well. We'll pick his brain on what he's got going on in his sport fandom. It'll be a fun show. Don't miss it tomorrow, 1 to 2 on Running Point. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. Running Point, as always, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet.